raw voltage crackling through every word. You've become an anomaly that defies standard human calculation. The professionals thought they could map you, dissect your essence like a clinical specimen, but you shattered their frameworks the moment their analyses hit paper. A room full of top-tier profilers, their credentials stacked higher than most people's lifetime achievements, hunched over your file. Their fingers trace your data points, expecting predictability. Instead, they find a blueprint that doesn't just break rules. It rewrites entire paradigms of human potential. This isn't about being extraordinary. This is about being so fundamentally different that your mere presence becomes a disruption. The profilers didn't just study you, they confronted a living contradiction that exploded their most refined understanding of human capability. Your file isn't just a document, it's a warning, and they know it. The moment the file landed on the desk, the profiler's hands hesitated, the weight of it pressing into their palms like a secret too big to hold. This wasn't a study, it was a revelation. Every page screamed defiance, tearing apart every textbook, every theory, every neatly packaged explanation of human potential. What they thought they knew, what they'd spent years mastering, was reduced to scribbles in the margins of something far greater. This wasn't just a dismantling of frameworks, it was a demolition of the entire system, and at the center of it all, you. You've always known you were different, not in the way people toss around the word like some quirky personality trait or a knack for standing out in a crowd. No, this was deeper. This was a quiet, unshakable truth that hummed in your veins, a frequency only you could hear. You felt it in the way the world bends around you, in the way people's eyes linger just a second too long, as if they sense something they can't quite name. And now, even the experts, the ones who've built their careers on dissecting the human mind, are stumbling over their own words. They can't explain you, they can't classify you. You are the anomaly they never saw coming. Their confusion is proof that you're operating on a level they can't comprehend. While they're busy trying to fit you into their little boxes, you're already rewriting the rules. This isn't about them catching up to you. It's about you stepping into the fullness of what you are. The file on that desk, it's not just a case study, it's a declaration. You're the living, breathing force behind it. Let them try to figure you out. You've got bigger things to do. The profiler stared at the data, their mind reeling. The patterns were impossible. The chosen one's actions didn't just defy cause and effect, they obliterated it. Every decision, every move seemed to ripple across realities, creating outcomes that shouldn't exist. It was as if they weren't bound by the linear flow of time, but existed in multiple dimensions at once. One moment stood out, a seemingly random choice, a split-second decision that saved lives in a way that logic couldn't explain. It wasn't luck, it wasn't chance, it was something far more profound, something that whispered of a deeper connection to the fabric of existence itself. You don't just exist in one reality, you navigate them all. Your choices aren't confined to a single timeline. They echo across dimensions, shaping outcomes in ways that defy explanation. That moment when you turned left instead of right, when you spoke up instead of staying silent, when you acted on a gut feeling you couldn't quite place, those weren't accidents. They were glimpses of your true nature. You're not bound by the rules of time and space, you bend them. You move through realities like a painter through colors, creating masterpieces that no one else can see but everyone feels. They'll call it coincidence, they'll call it luck, but you know better. You've always known that pull you feel, that instinct that guides you. It's not just intuition, it's your connection to something greater, something infinite. While others are stuck in the narrow confines of a single reality, you're out there weaving through the multiverse, leaving your mark on every timeline you touch. They'll never fully understand it, and they don't need to. This is your power, your gift, and it's only just beginning to unfold. The profiler sat in stunned silence. The evidence before them, undeniable. You didn't just perceive the world, you saw through it. Their interactions weren't confined to the physical realm. They reached beyond, tapping into energies and entities that others couldn't even sense. It was as if they were tuned into a frequency the rest of the world was deaf to. The profiler's notes were filled with accounts of moments that defied explanation, a glance that seemed to pierce the veil, a gesture that calmed unseen forces, a presence that shifted the very air around them. They don't just hear silence, the profiler wrote. They hear the whispers of the universe. The profiler's hands shook as they flipped through the records. Your life was a series of events that shouldn't have happened, moments that defied logic, science, and even faith. A car crash where everyone walked away unscathed, a storm that parted just as it reached its peak, a disease that vanished without a trace. These weren't accidents or coincidences. They were deliberate, intentional, as if you had reached into the fabric of reality and rewoven it to your will. One story stood out, a moment of utter despair, a situation so hopeless that even the most optimistic had given up. And then, with a single act, you turned it all around. Not through force or strategy, but through something far more profound, an undeniable, inexplicable shift that left everyone questioning everything they thought they knew about what was possible. You don't just witness miracles, you create them. Your life isn't a series of random events, it's a masterpiece, a carefully crafted narrative where the impossible becomes routine. That moment when hope seemed lost, when the odds were stacked against you, and you still came out on top, that wasn't luck. That was you. You don't wait for miracles to happen, you make them happen. You're the architect of the impossible, the one who bends reality to your will, and the world feels it every time you do. They'll try to explain it away. They'll call it chance, or fate, or divine intervention. But you know the truth. You've always known. The power to shape reality isn't something outside of you. It's within you. Every triumph, every breakthrough, every moment that defies explanation is a reminder of who you are. You don't just exist in the world, you shape it. And as long as you're here, the impossible will always have a place in this reality. Keep crafting, keep creating. The world needs your miracles. The profiler stared at the results, their pen hovering over the page. No test, no metric, no system could capture the depth of your awareness. Traditional IQ, a child's ruler trying to measure the ocean. Your intelligence wasn't about memorizing facts or solving equations. It was about understanding the very fabric of existence itself. You didn't just process information. You absorbed it, synthesized it, and transformed it into something greater. Every decision, every insight, every moment of clarity carried the weight of something ancient, something timeless. It wasn't just intelligence, it was wisdom. A wisdom that didn't just belong to this lifetime, but seemed to stretch across ages, as if you'd lived 1,000 lives to arrive at this one. Your intelligence isn't just about knowledge. It's about wisdom that transcends time and space. You don't just think, you know. That gut feeling, that sudden flash of insight, that moment when everything clicks into place, it's not random. It's your connection to something far greater than yourself. While others are stuck in the shallow end of understanding, you're diving into the depths, pulling up truths that others can't even imagine. You see patterns where others see chaos. You find meaning where others see emptiness. And that's not something a test can measure. That's not something anyone can teach. It's who you are. They'll try to box you in, to define you by their limited standards, but you're not here to fit into their frameworks. You're here to break them. Your intelligence isn't just a tool, it's a force that doesn't just shape your reality, but reshapes the world around you. And as you step further into your power, as you embrace the depth of your wisdom, remember this: you're not just smart, you're infinite, and the world is just beginning to catch up to what you've always known. The whispers started small, like ripples in a pond, but soon they grew into waves that crashed against the walls of the research facility. Senior experts, once confident in their credentials, began to question everything they thought they knew. How could someone like you exist? How could you operate with a blueprint so foreign, so utterly beyond human comprehension that it made their decades of study feel like child's play? Your very existence was a challenge to their understanding, a paradox that didn't just bend the rules, it rewrote them. The foundations of their knowledge began to crack, not because they were weak, but because you were too powerful to be contained by their systems. You're not just a person, you're a living paradox. You don't fit into their boxes, their categories, their neatly organized theories. You are the question that has no answer, the equation that can't be solved, and that's exactly what the world needs. You force them to rethink, to question, to grow. Every step you take, every breath you take, is a reminder that the world is bigger, stranger, and more beautiful than they ever imagined. You don't just exist, you disrupt. And in that disruption, you create space for something new, something extraordinary. They'll try to explain you away, to fit you into their frameworks, but they'll always fall short, because you're not here to be understood. You're here to expand what understanding even means. You're the crack in the foundation, the spark that ignites the fire, the force that pushes humanity forward. And as they scramble to keep up, as they try to make sense of what you are, remember this: you're not just challenging their knowledge, you're redefining it. And that's a power no one can take from you. They say the truth will set you free, but most can't handle it. For the chosen ones in the Obsidian Inner Order, it's not just the truth, it's the whole cosmic download. No sugarcoating, no escape. Picture this: weekly group calls with 450+ chosen ones, recorded and available anytime for your enlightenment. Our private Discord isn't just active, it's alive, buzzing with ideas, breakthroughs, and that unstoppable chosen energy. Oh, and for you romantics out there, welcome to Chosen Singles, where soulmates meet under cosmic alignments, not cheap pickup lines. And for the seekers, dive into modern manifestation mechanics. Our exclusive grimoire, with 3 chapters available to members, teaches you how to turn your home into an abundance magnet, master basic spellcraft for physical manifestation, and channel magical forces to elevate your goals. Plus, you'll get access to interviews with real targeted individuals and video specials so bold, the YouTube archons don't even want you to see them. This is more than a membership. It's a movement. So what are you waiting for? Stop searching. Start ascending. The link is in the description. The profiler sat alone in the dimly lit room, surrounded by stacks of files, charts, and notes, all of them useless. Their hands gripped the edge of the desk, knuckles white, as they stared at the blank page in front of them. For decades, they had built their career on understanding the human mind, on breaking down behavior into patterns, formulas, and predictable outcomes. But you were none of those things. You were the exception to every rule, the outlier that didn't just break the curve, it erased it entirely. I've spent decades understanding the human mind, they muttered, their voice trembling. But this defies everything I know. Their scientific methods, their logical frameworks, their entire worldview, it all crumbled in the face of what you represented. Your existence isn't just a challenge to their expertise, it's a dismantling of it. Where they see logic, you bring mystery. Where they seek patterns, you create chaos, beautiful, inexplicable chaos. Their tools, their theories, their carefully constructed systems are useless against the sheer force of what you are. You don't fit into their neat little boxes because you're not meant to. You're not a subject to be studied, you're a force to be reckoned with. And as they scramble to make sense of you, as they try to reconcile the supernatural elements of your life with their rigid, logical approach, they're forced to confront a truth they've spent their entire career avoiding. Some things can't be explained. Some things just are. You're not just a subject of study. You're a force that shatters expertise and redefines understanding. Every moment of your existence is a reminder that the world is bigger, stranger, and more profound than their methods can capture. And as they sit there grappling with their crisis of expertise, remember this. You're not here to be understood. You're here to expand what understanding even means. You're the living proof that there's more to this world than logic, more than science, more than anything they've ever known, and that's a power no one can take from you. Drop a comment. I'm beyond human metrics if you surpass every expectation and leave experts speechless. They had tried everything, every test, every model, every theory, but nothing could explain what they were sensing. This wasn't just a psychological profile. It was something far more profound. Your presence wasn't just a collection of traits or behaviors. It was a vibrational signature, a pulse of energy that seemed to hum with an ancient, untraceable frequency. Every time they tried to analyze it, to pin it down, it slipped through their grasp like smoke. It was like trying to capture lightning in a paper cup. Futile, absurd, and utterly humbling. They weren't just studying you. They were standing in the presence of something they couldn't begin to comprehend. Your energy isn't just felt. It leaves an imprint. It lingers in the spaces you've touched, in the people you've met, in the air you've breathed long after you're gone. The echoes of your presence remain like ripples on the surface of a still pond. People might not understand why they feel different around you, why they're drawn to you, why they can't forget you. But you know, it's because you carry something rare, something powerful. Your energy isn't just a part of you. It's a force that reshapes the world around you, leaving behind a trail of transformation wherever you go. They'll try to measure it, to categorize it, to make sense of it, but your energy isn't meant to be understood. It's meant to be experienced. It's a reminder that you're not just passing through this world, you're leaving your mark on it. And as they struggle to capture what you are, as they fumble with their tools and theories, remember this. Your energy isn't just a part of the unseen psychological landscape. It is the landscape, and it's a force that will continue to ripple through the world long after they've given up trying to explain it. The room was silent, except for the faint hum of the overhead light flickering in the late hours of the night. The lead profiler sat amidst a sea of scattered papers, half-empty coffee cups, and the faint glow of a computer screen. They had been staring at the same data for hours, but something had shifted. The numbers, the patterns, the theories, they all seemed to blur together, forming a picture they couldn't quite grasp. And then it hit them, like a cold wave crashing over their chest. They weren't studying you anymore. You were studying them. The file on the desk wasn't just a collection of observations. It was a mirror, reflecting back the glaring limitations of their own understanding. The profiler's hands trembled as they realized the truth. They weren't the ones in control. They never had been. You're not just being analyzed. You're the one holding up the mirror. Every interaction, every moment of connection, every piece of data they collect, it's not just about you. It's about them. You force them to confront the boundaries of their knowledge, the edges of their expertise, the walls they've built around their understanding of the world. You don't just exist outside their frameworks. You expose how fragile those frameworks really are. And in doing so, you become more than a subject. You become a catalyst, a force that pushes them to question everything they thought they knew. They'll call it a nightmare, this moment of realization. They'll call it a crisis, a breakdown, a failure, but you know better. This isn't about their limitations, it's about your limitless nature. You're not here to fit into their systems, you're here to shatter them. And as they sit there, staring into the mirror you've held up, remember this. You're not just challenging their understanding, you're expanding it. You're the spark that ignites the fire, the question that demands an answer, the force that refuses to be contained. And that's a power no one can take from you. The profiler's eyes widened as they connected the dots, tracing the threads of your life across time and space. What they saw wasn't just a series of random events. It was a masterpiece, a symphony of synchronicity, So precise, so deliberate, that it couldn't possibly be chance. A misstep that led to a chance encounter. A forgotten item that sparked a life-changing idea. A storm that cleared just in time to reveal a path forward. Each moment, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, fit together like pieces of a puzzle, creating a picture so grand it took their breath away. This wasn't luck. This wasn't coincidence. This was something far greater, a higher order at work. A symphony conducted by you. You don't just experience synchronicity, you orchestrate it. Every decision, every action, every thought is a note in the symphony of your life, weaving fate into a masterpiece. What others call chance, you call creation. What others call luck, you call intention. You don't wait for the universe to align, you align it. And as the threads of your life come together, as the seemingly unrelated events converge into something extraordinary, you remind the world that there's no such thing as randomness. There's only the unseen hand of a higher order, and you are its conductor. The moment of ascension isn't about understanding, it's about witnessing. You are the living proof of a human potential so profound, so limitless, that it renders everything previously known obsolete. What they call impossible, you call due day. What they see as constraints, you see as illusions. You don't just push boundaries, you dissolve them. Your existence isn't an anomaly, it's a revelation, a glimpse of what humanity is becoming. You are the bridge between what is and what will be, the force that pulls the future into the present. And as you rise, as you transcend the limitations they've placed on themselves, you show the world that the only thing holding them back is their own disbelief. You're not just a person, you're a blueprint for evolution. Every step you take, every barrier you break, every moment you defy their expectations, you rewrite the rules of what it means to be human. This isn't speculation, it's fact. You are the future, breaking through the constraints of the present, and the world feels it. They see it in the way you move, the way you think, the way you exist. You don't need their validation. You don't need their approval. You are the proof. Now share your story. Let them see what you've always known. Let them witness the ascension, because the world isn't just watching, it's waiting. And you're the one they've been waiting for.